Hi. So, I've never made a video before, but it seems at this moment in time that there's a lot going on with COVID and just the world right now. Shayne Dawson's getting a lot of hate, and I honestly feel bad for him personally. I just feel that we've all made bad choices and we've all made bad mistakes. The only difference is that this individual, his mistakes were posted publicly and not with it. Like the whole world can see all of the mistakes that he's made. And it's unfair to say that, you know, his mistake is bigger than this other individual's mistake when the only difference is that one was public and one was private, in a sense. Like the whole world can't see every single person's mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So what's the difference with Shayne Dawson? Not that um you know, not that it necessarily discounts what he's done and the negative effects that his comments and actions have brought, but I just feel like Shayne Dawson needs to be given the courtesy that you're not the only person that has said, you know, racially bad things. And I honestly, I've made mistakes. Everyone has made mistakes. And just because this was public doesn't mean that you deserve to be hated. And if anything else, Shayne Dawson needs to have more positive people in his life. So the positive people leaving his life, you don't have to be the best of friends with him, but don't leave him just to sit in his self-loathing and this hatred for himself and all of this negative backlash that he's getting. He needs that support system. And even if you don't talk to him, or like, appearance and your reputation in society is not extremely valuable at all whatsoever. So if the only reason why you're saying I don't want to be associated with Shayne Dawson, and it's related to the fact that you don't want your reputation to be tampered with, that's no. Because he's a person and he has real feelings and real issues that he's dealing with right now. If anything else, he needs good people to surround him and uplift him and to help him realize that there are good aspects of him, and that he needs people to encourage those things and to help him, you know, help him bring them out more, so that the negative things and all of the other aspects that come with that aren't appearing so much, so that he can have a chance to realize, yes, this is what I've done. I've made poor choices. I said some very racist things. I made some very inappropriate comments. I've done inappropriate things concerning pedophilia and other things. And, I don't see why he has to receive so much hate right now, because everybody's made awful choices. None of us have gone throughout our life without making a single mistake. And everyone is just trashing on him. And I feel awful for him, because that can feel really lonely. And, feeling like I've experienced what it feels like to have everyone think that you are a failure, and that, you know, you can't be trusted, and you're not responsible, and you can't make good choices. It makes you feel like, as a person, that you're physically incapable of having like these positive attributes of yourself, that you grew up thinking, yes, I am a good person. And then you start to define yourself by these societal expectations, when in reality, none of us are going to meet these high expectations that we have for each other. However, we should set high expectations for ourselves, but we are never going to meet those goals, because we're human. We're gonna make mistakes. It's just gonna happen. And I keep going back to the fact that, the only difference between like me and Shayne Dawson is that none of my mistakes were broadcasted to where the whole world can see, and his were. And a lot of the mistakes he's made are in the past. So why are we bringing it up again? It's not like we go back in other people's history and we bring up the fact that, oh, you cheated on a test, and oh, you lied to me about my hair looking pretty. Like, God, when he looks at us as his children, he does not view us as our mistakes. He doesn't keep count of our mistakes. He doesn't keep a list. He doesn't do those things to us to keep us like imprisoned in those things. And once he forgives us, he forgives us. And for someone, as a human individual, if someone wrongs you, forgive them, because if you did that to them, you would want them to give you the courtesy of having forgiveness and being forgiven. And that way you can not be imprisoned by this guilt and be a prisoner to these feelings of frustration and self-loathing that I'm sure Shayne Dawson is feeling right now. And my heart honestly goes out to him, because that's really hard, just to feel secluded and alone. And that you're kind of like the black sheep, like the ugly duckling, kind of, where you are, you feel unloved because so much hatred is being put towards you, and that really sucks. And I don't have a channel. I don't post videos. But I felt the need to say this, just because I feel really awful for Shayne Dawson. And God doesn't keep count of every single mistake that we've ever made, and those mistakes define us. No, God sees what's in our heart, and God knows what our heart is. And if we know that we're a good person, and God knows that we're a good person, then everyone around us should be able to see that. You should not have to prove yourself to other people. Not saying that Shayne Dawson doesn't have things to work on. I mean, we all have things to work on, but I think that he deserves a little bit of slack, just because we're all human and we're all gonna make mistakes. And that's the end of it. Every single individual has made a mistake. And in God's eyes, a sin is a sin. Whether it's stealing a piece of gum from a little grocery store or killing and raping someone. In God's eyes, a sin is a sin. They're all equal. We all sin, period. That's it. But he still loves and forgives us, and he expects us to give everyone that same respect, because we want to be forgiven and we want to be loved and cherished. And so therefore we should give that to other people. God loves us and we need to share that love with other people, because while we're here on earth, it's gonna suck. And the only way that people on earth are going to experience God is through his children and his believers and those he's called to be his missionaries, to go and spread his name and his word and his love and compassion and mercy and grace and like all of these things that encompass God, and God is everything. Okay, now I'm going on a tangent, but point blank, people need to give Shayne Dawson a break. Yes, he did some wrong stuff. Yes, a lot of it was in the past. So just like forgive, don't forget it, but forgive him, because we've all made mistakes, we've all made bad choices, but we do not want those bad choices to define us as a person. That is not our character. And there is coming back from that and growing from it. And I don't know what God has in store for Shayne Dawson, but I feel like Shayne Dawson needed some love, because, you know, life is hard. And it's even harder when your whole life is public. And, you know, you have a whole bunch of people that you don't even know judging you by your character because of a few seconds of your life that you may have regretted, and people judge you for it. That's it. Peace.